the truth, but don't skip the ad.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's part 2 of the season finale with VJ Anand.
Yes, and we won't take up much of your time because it's so exciting. So if you haven't heard part 1, do that because it makes no sense to listen to this and then go back to part 1. Without further ado, here's part 2 with VJ Anand on
Don't Skip the Ad.
I'm always excited with anything that they show me. Oh, this is so fucking cool. This is damn nice. So I asked them one question. As an Indonesian, what are you proud of? So a lot of them brought everything. Like one person, I can't remember who was it in the room. There was a lot of people in the room. They said that, oh, there's this small kid we should be proud of. He's a 13-year-old Indonesian boy who won a Grammy before. I was like, fuck, that's quite cool. I didn't know that. Then I asked the other people in the room. Half of them didn't know. Half of them knew. I said, this is the fucking idea. Then they're like, oh, I don't get it. What is the idea? Is it the boy? I said, no. Can you, by tomorrow, go and find 50 different things that you all are proud of that Indonesians or Indonesian brands have done in the world that no one knows about. So then the next day they came out, oh man, they have a million different things that's famous. Kopiko has been in space. Indomie is taking over the world. The idea was that, like, let's say thank you to all the Indonesian brands who have
put Indonesia on
the map.
Yeah.
So that was the idea, right? And then the marketing people are like, hey, this is a bit scary. We cannot like talk about other brands. It's fine. Like our brand logo can be small. I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You want to thank other brands and people would talk about that, right? One art director who was with me in BBDO Malaysia and came to Gojek and join us. He had a brilliant execution. In Indonesia, if you go around, you'll see this flower boards everywhere and they do it for everything. You marry, also got flower board. You die, also got flower board. You got new baby, you open business, also got flower board.
Real flowers?
If real flowers or fake ones. So it depends. They mix it up. I saw it everywhere there. When you showed me, I was like, man, this makes sense. But instead of a small board, they made a giant billboard and it just stopped everyone. Traffic jam got even worse. Already Jakarta traffic jam was. Now it's worse with the billboards, right? We sent it to all the famous people. We could do for all the brands as billboards, but we sent it to all the famous people like the chefs, the actors, everyone. Everyone posted without paying influencer money.
Because it was pride, right?
Yeah, it was pride. So they're like, oh man, even people sent back to us like, we are also proud of you, Gojek. We are like, so many flower billboards came in. Man, everybody started talking about it. And then SEA Games, all the athletes, Indonesian athletes that won, we sent it to them. SEA Games, we were not the official sponsors, but everybody was talking about us.
So you have a knack for doing things really, really different. Is that a process? Is that or is it just because, push to the corner? Or is it intuition that you have?
I think one is just for me, the passion to want to do things that are different. I just don't like things that are same. It bores me and it bores people out there. But I think if you're always doing print ads, if you're always doing social posts, if you're always doing YouTube ads, it's boring. Like you want to try things that are different. Why can't this be a LinkedIn post? Why can't this be on
music video?
Yeah, music video. I just like doing things that are slightly different. From that one piece, it snowballed. We got a lot of traction. People started talking about. So the team also started doing a lot of crazy stuff. Came to one day, one of the owners, Kevin, calls me. He's in LA. He's like, dude, my friend, my classmate is like the CFO of 88 Rising. Would you like to do something with Rich Brian? I was like, fuck, for sure, man. Like I listened to his stuff. I followed his career from the beginning. So I told Kevin, like, let's not tell anyone. Let's keep this like a secret. You, me, and maybe just 3 other people. We'll just do something quite crazy. So we brokered the deal, sponsoring one music video. No one knew what's going to be in that music video. So one thing I got to do was I got to listen to the album before it came out. I was quite happy. They were pushing one track. I think it was Yellow first. The first track they gave us is not right for us.
Is that a cover version?
I don't know.
No, this is a rapper.
Different song. No, not full place one, but it's a different song. I listened to it and then I listened to 100 Degrees. And then this mood of this song, this is exactly the vibe of the brand. So I want this. So then they were like, but then you can't be the first brand. We'll do other brands. That's fine. Let other people go first and take the other music videos. We'll go later. Usually brands come in, music video, do press conference, the first signing, whole take picture. Nobody gives a fuck about press conferences.
It's not
and
exciting.
shit. It's not exciting. So I said, I want to launch this in a different way. Then I worked only with Rich Brian and his manager. And we said that, okay, we want to launch it differently. I said, because we have a food delivery app and our line at that time was Pasti Ada Jalan. Like everything was a can, things like that.
Confirm can jalan.
So then we were like, okay, we're going to ask him to post, I miss Indonesian food. We're going to reply and say, we'll send it to you. We got you. And I have a bit of a banter before the music video comes in. So let the story unfold. We didn't know that how crazy it was going to get. I was just like, fuck it, let's just fucking try and see. And then in Indonesia, Twitter is massive. So it just started him posting, us posting. People thought we actually delivered. We did not deliver. We actually had the jacket sent to him. He art directed the shoot. I said I wanted to make it look like fucked up. 3GP kind of video, low quality kind of low quality. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. Low quality kind of shit. And so we shot all of that, and we took delivery guy to the airport, shot him there, and we did the whole journey, and people just went wow. It went on like news, Mashable, CNN, like it was everywhere, all the sites. And then at the end was the music video. No one knew what the music video was because we left it to them to like, okay, here's the jacket, do whatever you want. As long as you put the brand in there. The brand had like 3 seconds when it launched. And then the CFO calls me on the day that the music video launches, like, what the fuck did we pay 200,000 for this 3 seconds of this video? This is the morning. By the afternoon, the views hit, and all the comment sections, 90% was talking about Gojek. It was just mental. And then Nadim, he sent an email to all the management team on the VP, SVPs, VPs, and the C levels. It's like no money can equate to coolness and talkability and shareability. The amount of PR buzz we got out of the 200,000, it's millions. Our brand is cool now. Like we're in a music video, like
pop culture.
Oh yeah, you're in pop culture. How cool is that?
It feels like if Gojek's brand or like the jacket was in more parts of the video, it feels very yuck. It feels like you're just
over.
Yeah, that's the thing. The other brands did that. Like this was just on point. Some of it is just pure luck, dumb luck. Some of it is manufactured.
Yeah, no, that's
I love
amazing. My mind blown that it's manufactured.
Any lessons to give our listeners out there based on that?
Okay, so few things. One is people don't want to see ads, right? People block ads. People pay for ads.
People can smell when it's an ad.
People can smell when it's an ad, right? Like, how do you bring brands into pop culture and embed it into things that they're passionate about? I think that's so important. If you want to make it unskippable, that is something you need to think every day. Like no one's going to see this print ad or this piece of ad or this social post because it's an ad. I'm going to skip it. I'm going to just scroll. But if it's in a passion point that you like, or it's music or this artist that I like, or I like games and they're telling it in a different way, then do that. The modern day advertising is that, right?
When you create this kind of ideas, do you know it's going to work or, okay, job done, now move on to the next job?
It was exciting because I got to LA, got to meet, got a party with Rich Brian. I was backstage at Head in the Clouds. I saw Joji, I saw Nikki.
No, but before
insane.
that, did you know this was going to take off, or to you it was
just let's do something crazy and fun.
And
whether
that's
it went big or not, it didn't matter. I did something that I thought was quite fun.
Even if
excited.
you're a safe ad, I don't think anyone can guarantee the success. I've never guaranteed like, oh, this is going to be a viral hit. Like, because you can never guess it's a hit or not. Because there was failures along the way. I can talk about the failures too, but people remember the cool shit. Like until now, probably in Indonesia, you ask them, or Southeast Asia, a lot of people know that Rich Brian
story.
And we did a lot of other things there in Gojek. When you win the trust, you can do a lot of things because they understand now the value of creativity and PR, and so amazing what it can change for a brand. People start loving the brand, talking about the brand, became a cult brand because of several things that we did. There was once we had a brief, and the brief said that I want to do a print ad to say we are now in Vietnam, proud moment for Indonesia. And I said like, if you do this print ad, it's going to be boring. Everybody's been like, oh, you're chest thumping. Nobody gives a fuck. Things like you think it's nice as a brand or as a creative, but it's not. I told the owners like, okay, you trust me now. Give me 200,000 or whatever amount that is. I can't remember, but not that much. I want to take 5 Gojek drivers. I want to make passports for them and I'll bring them to Vietnam for the first time to thank them because they've been with us and they made this happen. Without them, that would not happen. And then they're like, oh, fuck, this is quite cool. Then he got like, you got script. I said, got no script, nothing. I'm just going to document. I'm going to go there 1 week with them, kind of like a holiday or so. Okay, I can go Vietnam, eat nicely. So basically, I'm going on a holiday with all of them and giving them a chance to experience a holiday when they would never have this in their lives. And it was one of the longest ads in Indonesia at that point. After when we launched it, Google came to us. They were like, what did y'all do? Like, do y'all know, like, this is the longest unskippable ad in Indonesia to date, like 19-20 million. No drop-offs until 8 minutes, which is insane. We've never seen numbers like that. It was because it was genuine, no script, wasn't an ad. The drivers genuinely cried at the end when they said, in our lives, no brand would have done this for me. I'm a nobody. And you're taking me, make a passport for me, giving me a chance of a lifetime to experience this. And I'll never forget y'all because of that. And just to affect 5 people That's powerful.
Yeah,
How
it
long
I
did
don't
you
care
come
about-
up with this idea? How long did
I
you
was
was
just
it on the spot?
It was just on the spot lah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
See, the thing
amazing,
I
man.
find very consistent is that you always start with something that is true, that's emotionally true. And I think that's where unskippable ads come from.
Yeah.
What advice would you have, even for me, to hone that skill?
There's a few things. I think how to be relevant, how to capture attention.
Yeah.
How do you change and affect someone's life? What kind of emotions does this trigger? What kind of passion points does it hit? Like there's a few things for me that I think about subconsciously.
When you're
I think of,
ideating,
when
all
I
of
think
this
of
pops up.
ideas. Yeah.
So now that you've made Gojek pop culture, made it into a cult, made it into a lifestyle brand, where did your career take off next?
Oh yeah. So someone sent that case study. Well, my CMO friend who got me into Gojek sent it to some friends in Vena Media and Gary Vee, and they were at that point setting up Vena Media in APAC, and they needed someone to come in. They were looking initially for MDs and CEOs. After meeting a whole bunch of people, they pivoted. I think we need like a creative person who understands us or understands modern advertising and marketing, but also understands how to do like social, how to capture attention, like what Gary likes, right?
Yeah.
And I was never a huge fan of Gary before working. I knew friends who were like crazy fans. When I told
fanatics.
them, when I showed like my WhatsApp screen grab, I sent it to one person. The one person told me like, oh man, this is how the universe brings me closer to Gary Vee through you. I was like, fuck, that's quite mad. And then I had a conversation with a few of them, and I spoke to Gary, and Gary's interview was really interesting. Because at that point, I was enjoying myself in Gojek, in a tech company, not in advertising. Why should I join an agency back again?
How many years were you at Gojek?
Only 2.
Only 2.
Yeah, very short.
Very
but I felt
good
like I
run,
did a lot. Yeah, that was
Amazing. I like the work.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. Had a lot of fun. I didn't want to move, like I said. And when I spoke to Gary, he kind of convinced me. And other people who actually loved the agency, not him, but the agency, and believed in what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I liked that quite a bit. So I understand, like from someone like Nadim, for me, I needed someone like that, or else I'll be bored. Like a visionary to learn from. Again, everything is a learning curve for me, right? So when I asked Gary, like, why should I join an agency back again? I'm quite happy in a tech company. And Gary's answer was quite funny. Gary was like, you've been in all the network agencies. Everything is about money, pitching, keep your people safe. Bro, I'll be honest with you. I'm fucking rich. I don't give a fuck about money. So all you need to do is take good care of people, make sure they learn. Let's do advertising that's different, marketing that's different, marketing for the now, change, and things that you understand, like using social, capturing attention. That's what I want to do. Then I was like, fuck, I believe in this.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. So I went into an agency, there was only 4 people. At first, I regretted. I was like, why the fuck did I come to like 4 people? I was doing banners myself. Like, I was writing decks. I was flying in, presenting, writing the ideas. Cannot write, also have to write. No choice. Getting friends, getting family and all that to just wife and all to help to copy check and all, and sending it to clients coming and pitching. We landed our first client, came in from 4 people in 3 years to 300 people.
Wow.
It was quite crazy, a crazy run as well.
That's
and we had
mad
clients like
growth.
Disney Plus, SK2, PNG, YouTube, Google, who are still clients for VaynerMedia. Man, it was just a crazy growth, like from nowhere. And we understood social because of Gary as well. When you have a CEO who understands trends before they become trends, who understands platform. He was like early investor in like Facebook. He was one of the co-founders of Rezi. All the platforms he has knowledge beyond others. I'm learning every day.
So this was
from
you
someone like that.
forming the APAC VaynerMedia, right? And how involved was Gary at this point?
He'll give you like, okay, go and play it this way. Or here's what's trending. Go and do it. Or LinkedIn today, the algorithm, this is down. Go and do this. Tell all the clients. Because he knows what's happening in the platform. That's about it. But he lets you play or do the way you want. I had an amazing partner called Avery. She was way younger than me. She was the MD of VaynerMedia APAC, and we partnered together. And she was learning from me. I'm learning from her because she's one of the sharpest and smartest person I worked with. And she's only 20-ish, ex-Google for many years. Gary hired her from Google, super smart person.
What's the capacity? Strategic planner or what's the
Dude,
capacity?
she was never in the industry. Half of the people in VaynerMedia are not from the industry. They're just people who understand platforms. She was from Google.
A tech
just
person.
Just a smart person in Google Media. That was her background.
So your role at Vayner was to
Build the agency.
build an agency.
So no more like previous places was all about creative, the work. Now suddenly I had to change slightly. I did the work at first, but then I had people doing the work.
Yeah.
Is to build brand Vayner as well. So that's another, it's like 2 jobs in one.
Yeah. Because
So-
it is all integrated. I mean, it's all kind
Correct.
of one thing, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And I was quite excited about that because I've done all the advertising, the creative part, but also building an agency from zero or with no buzz and then or at that point and then just building it to something. I thought that was quite fun as well.
Yeah. Because it definitely sounds extremely challenging, and that's your comfort zone. Yeah.
I wouldn't say comfort zone, but I thought it was.
I think we're going to be honest. I mean, you always find yourself in you put yourself in these situations where it's
when
it's
it's challenging.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's your
yeah,
comfort
my
zone.
comfort zone is the most uncomfortable place.
Yeah.
I think that's where my comfort zone is because then it keeps me on my toes. So this is something new, something different. Winning all these clients,
Yeah.
building an agency. I never done that entirely before, but it was fun.
Question, it's definitely an insane growth to go from 4 to 300, right? There must be some hard lessons you learned in that time, or what were some of the things you thought did really well, or it helped?
I'm sure the clients kept coming for what you were putting out there.
There's 2 things. I think one is our niche was understanding social platforms and culture better than anyone else. So stick to that. Don't have to be playing in other people's field.
Yeah.
You play at what you're good at, your understanding, but then you can do everything else as well. That's fine. But you're really good at one thing and you hone it, right? That's one. The other one, honestly, is the most powerful part. It's like when Gary hired me, and which I believe in, it's people first. Right? A lot of people say that, but less people actually believe or practice it quite a bit. He has a thing called the honey empire culture, people first. People need to learn, people need to be happy for them to do good work, and I believe in that as well. So
Yeah.
I focus on the growth and development of people, and then the people go out and make the work.
Good work, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that is something that I
How is
really
this
like.
demonstrated? Is it like work-life balance, or how do you execute people first?
It is a lot of things that it's hard to explain. Sometimes culture is like air. You can't see it, but you feel it and you breathe it. So I feel a lot of things is hard things to explain. But if you ask a lot of people in the agency, little activities, the way we listen to people, the way we react, or even just the way we do work as well.
I think sometimes the way we respond to people.
Respond to people, that's so important as
Or
well.
respond to
There
clients' unreasonable deadlines?
People.
So yeah, that as well. We really look out for the well-being of people.
I think
From-
Ed asking all these questions because 8 years he hasn't been in an agency. That's why he also don't know what's it like now.
I'd say it's very different than a lot of places I've been. Like in most other places, you would just do whatever it takes for the business. But here, it's fine if we lose the business. But as long as our people are happy being there,
Yeah. I
happy
think
working with each other.
That's what I learned. With Jared, those decisions. From an outsider, previously I thought whoa, why would a company say no, right? But then when I start working with people, because my whole career has been a comedian, I'm a solo performer. But when I work with other people, I realize how important it is. Feelings of the people around,
Yeah. And there's one thing, I think subjectivity as well. In our industry, I'll get to this before you all even ask me the pet peeve, right? I think my pet peeve, and I think we in Vayner, what we try to do is subjectivity. There's so much subjectivity in this industry. There's always an ECD or a CCO making the call and saying that, this is how advertising should be.
Yeah.
And all of y'all follow me. But maybe your advertising is long time ago advertising, the industry of today, the people of today, and the audience of today have changed. And subjectivity doesn't work anymore. That one person making the gut feel doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And you need to listen and be open to many different things and put out different things to the world. It's not just about making one big ad anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's like little things that you put out and then you see which one resonates. And then that's kind of like the Vayner way of working as well.
Yeah.
So
I say it's
you don't
also-
say no to a young creator who is passionate about one thing, because that thing could be a hit that you don't understand, and you're making your subjective opinion and you're forcing that down on that one person when that person could fly.
Yeah, this is where I'm trying to wrap my head around VJ, because I know you and your work. Your work is very random, mad, wild, and then now you end up in Vayner and you are saying, hey, it's not about subjectivity, it's about trying. But your background suggests otherwise.
No, my background is also trying. I've always tried different things, and I've had bosses. Luckily to have bosses, especially Saad, who let me try many things without being subjective. So I believe in not forcing your style. I've seen creative directors and ECDs don't write it this way, write it my way, and following. But that person has a different style, and I believe in expressing yourself, because everybody's got different styles. You don't need to follow someone else's style, and that's what I learned from Saad, and he gave me the opportunity to try different things, and I found my voice that way. And I believe like this company also allows that. But whether the people take an advantage of that depends on the person, right? You can try to inspire them as much.
Yeah.
But whether there's another person who's like a younger version of me who's going to go and do crazy things, that I'm not sure.
I often think about that as well. Like I feel like sometimes people grow older and then like they become leaders, and somehow they don't allow for a younger them to shine the way they were allowed to,
Talking about me like
No. I see this.
You're always saying no to him.
Yeah, I see.
it.
I mean, this is true in many industries.
No,
you
it's
know?
true.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's the whole.
It's just the
that's a
whole,
good-
sometimes
old
the
way
whole
of-
way of doing
But no,
life.
Yeah.
what client might say, this is not in our brand voice, or this is a B2B. It's not a B2B ad. How would you respond to that?
It's the same. If you wanna win the hearts of today, don't be subjective. Don't just stick to one thing. The audience are so diverse.
Try
Yeah.
new things.
Try new things because you never know what's gonna hit. There's ways of hacking algorithms, like the old school way of like buying that one idea and pumping a whole bunch of media to this one when you're not guaranteed of success, especially in an age where platforms you can track data and stuff like that. Old school, okay, do print ad, you can never track. Do billboard, you can maybe see footfall a little bit, but then even then they massage. But with platforms, you can see people skipping, you can see the numbers, how long they're staying to watch those ads and all that. But if you just putting all your money behind one thing and it's not guaranteed for success, and then you blame the agency like, oh shit, it didn't work, like, because the whole formula doesn't work. If you want to hack algorithm, if you want to play around with algorithm, you need to try a few things that resonates with different passion points and then find the data that, okay, which one? I suddenly found out that, for this product, gamers are into this with this message. Let's look at that. Let's amplify that, put in media money, then and then grow it up. That's kind of like the Vena way.
The Vena way. This is a nice segue to the John Legend one. Is it the same? Was that the same principles that you applied it to that campaign?
Yeah, so I was quite lucky. Got to shoot a music video, one with Rich Brian, another one with John Legend, who's an
Boss,
artist.
How can a Taiping boy shoot with Rich Brian and then
a typing 100-meter runner, rock band, artist, like
teacher's son
teacher's son. Yeah.
shooting with Rich Brian and John Legend? Bro, tabik bro. Tabik
This-
spring bro.
It's pure dumb luck. You've seen Forrest Gump, just being lucky in the right place at the right time. That was most of my career. I believe so. But at Vayner, when I was telling you, we built APAC and stuff like that, one of the clients that trusted us early on was SK2. And SK2, man, they do a lot of crazy things. There was a client called Sandeep Das. He was really one of the visionary CMOs that I've worked with, always ready to buy something crazy, something different. And I respect the CMO who has guts to kind of do that. And I've seen a couple more CMOs like that. I know the Visa Global CMO is also like that, really believes in creator economy and stuff like that. But back to this SK2 idea. There's two examples. I think one was they spent all this money during the Olympics on doing this huge campaign, which eventually won awards and stuff like that. But it got derailed because of COVID. And they couldn't launch because the Olympics never happened. Right? It got postponed. Data showed that people were searching skincare tips at home. And we went back to the clients like, I know that you're quiet right now, but you have to do something because data shows this. So we went back, what if we did a talk show with a Japanese famous celebrity called Naomi Watanabe and got her to talk about the most 10 Google skincare tips in her funny comedic way. We did the show and it sold so much bottles. So there was one example. And then when the whole Olympics thing started to happen, but they wanted to launch the campaign right at the end of COVID, they couldn't do a physical launch because of COVID and restrictions and stuff like that. Not everybody could go down for a red carpet. And they already did this expensive commercial,
The animation.
and the animation stuff.
Was that
Beautiful.
also by Vena?
No, that was done by a different agency, but we did the whole social launch,
the launch of it.
digital. So we were like the social agency for SK2. Above the line did all the campaigns. So we had like an interesting problem. They're like, okay, we can't launch this physically. What if we do a live stream? Live streams were huge during lockdowns and stuff like that, but you can't just do a live stream about a bunch of ads. Nobody's going to be, oh man, I don't know what's about like the making of. So you had to put entertainment in between. So we really built like a TV show. So you had to build segments inside. And one of the segments was because John Legend already did the soundtrack for Simone Biles. And we shot Simone Biles' interview. We did all different segments, but we needed some entertainment in between. So we went to Sandeep Das and his team. And we were like, hey, we've got all these segments. We need to put in some entertaining ones. You've got this audio track by John Legend. Why not shoot a music video with him And then they're like, oh, is this going to cost me like 2 million? Like, no, actually it's just way below 1 million. He's like, okay, sign off, done.
Right.
He was someone who was willing to take the risk, and we couldn't shoot an extensive music video again because of restriction. We couldn't fly down. I was so sad because John Legend's an artist that I liked as well. Couldn't fly down to shoot, remote shoot. But what was cool was we used the Mandalorian screen to shoot. It wasn't that expensive because of lockdown. They didn't have a lot of shoots. So we got the
Everything
Mandalorian
was on
screen.
discount lah.
Discount lah. They gave cheap price done. So we actually managed to do it pretty cheap. The screen was amazing. This was quite interesting. So John Legend had like a few things that he wanted. Like one was the trailer had to be all decked out. And then we were like, oh, us production person LA, show us. We've never seen. And then somebody in some of the Singaporean creators were like, wow, this trailer better than my HDB flat at home, which is mad. It was all decked out. One more thing that was quite new for me is he wanted a movement coach. I was like, what the fuck is a movement coach? This song is a slow song. Why you got movement coach? But in comes this guy called Jamal. He was in Drag Race before and stuff like famous guy. We put the song for him. He listens to it one time. He does this amazing movement for it. I was like, fuck, okay, now I believe you, movement coach. Amazing. John Legend comes in, sees him one time, does the same movement but with his spin on it. It's like, man, these guys are fucking professionals. They're so good at it.
Is it like choreography or what? What is that?
Yeah, body movement
in a
is
way.
choreography, but not like
It's
an
just
extensive.
more of a
it's just like a move.
How would his body move?
Moves to the and the way the camera works. And stuff.
Interesting.
Man, eye opener. We put it in the show. Nice launch for a live stream. We did a couple of live streams after that. But every time we use that idea of like live streams are not just about selling or about talking. You need to build segments in. How do you entertain people so that they don't skip and run off? I think that one was like second most watched live stream Japan. So we did it for Japan and US, and then after that we did for China. We did a very Tmall kind of sales, kind of e-commerce, but we also put entertainment in it, like different rooms and stuff like that.
Different culture, different
ways to do it. You've seen some of the like that young girl who just takes and throws
The
stuff.
3 second,
The 3 second is fucking amazing, and things like that. So now advertising, you're going up against people who are not from advertising, doing crazy stuff on different platforms, and they are getting the attention and they are selling. You can fight it one, you can find ways to beat it one, or you can work with them another one. So embrace, working in different ways.
It's and it's very interesting because these days, like, okay, social media platform may be the same, but algorithm can change and how people's behavior changes. This is very different from back then when like the billboard is a billboard. Print nice. Paper is it's not gonna change. So the lesson I'm taking is that we have to be present. You have to observe, be honest, and sometimes we don't know things, but we adapt.
Embrace it.
Adapt.
There's one part I'm slowly getting into, like, why London? And how did this happen? Which is, okay, never in my wildest dream have I thought about I'm going to work overseas. I wouldn't say I'm not ambitious, but I don't think about like...
You go with the flow.
I go with the flow. So I'm very like, oh, this happened. Boom, I'm lucky. Done. But this one happened because I have a boss like Gary Vee. And he basically, after 1 year, he does a one-on-one with me. And it's like, hey man, I look at your CV, 2-3 years, someone poaches you. I don't want to lose you. What can I do to keep you here for 10 years? How can I buy 10 years of your time? And for me, as someone as famous as him, to ask that, for me, I consider nobody, right? Which is fucking amazing. I was like, man, you have a leader like that. And I want to be a leader like that as well. I was just touched, he asked. And I told him like, oh, I've done Asia for like 23 years or whatever. I'm bored of it. It's the same old. I'm just doing the same old cycle. Like I want to learn different cultures. I want a new challenge. I want to go to a place where no one knows me, but I want to learn that culture and I want to try something new. We never have that conversation for a while. And after 2 years, the guy's memory is also quite crazy. He sees me in an event in Cannes and he's like, hey, remember 2 years ago, you told me about this? Along the way, once he offered LA, I said no. He asked me why. I said, man, I'm a bit scared. Like, you kind of get shot there.
That's your comfort zone. Come on.
You don't get shot, bro.
It's my comfort zone. I'm really comfortable.
I don't think
shot.
that considers as a challenge.
Okay,
no one's
not. But then he remembers after 2 years, he's like, hey, this time you can't say no, you have to do this. Went into a market that nobody knows me. It's been a year now. Not easy, very challenging, but I've learned so much. I don't mind being a nobody. I don't mind people challenging me, but I find it a challenge to like go and just learn something new culture. I love it. I think Malaysians have the ability to adapt. That's one of our superpowers.
I
as
think
a
so
nation,
too.
To adapt to different cultures,
Yeah.
and we don't use that. Like when I went to Indonesia, I told my Indonesian team when I was leaving as well. I said, a lot of y'all are really good creatives, but you cannot be jago kampong. You cannot just stay here and do your own things. You have to try different parts of the world. And same with when I was in Thailand, very similar as well. The culture is very like or
Insular,
just as,
yeah.
insular. Whereas Malaysia, I think we're easy. Malaysians can go to Australia, China, any part of the world. You got Ronald in US, CK in China, like
Yeah.
all of them. Jerome in Hong Kong, there's so many good talent who got there and really do well. I think because we have the ability to adopt the different cultures. In that 1 year, my main job was to change the agency, the structure, the style we work. Once I've done that, we're starting to win the business. The results are coming in.
And you're
So
also
next is
opening agencies. Where's the next one going to be?
So
Or
we
are
just
you
set
working
up,
on that?
quite a while, we set up Amsterdam, which is
Yeah.
a really beautiful office. A lot of talented people out there as well. There's a Malaysian working in Berlin as well.
Yeah. Oh,
nice.
There's a girl called Timur Gabriel who's big on Instagram,
I know her.
Yeah, yeah.
TikTok. So she works for Vena.
I think one of
Berlin.
our ex-staff is in Vena, Amsterdam. Nadia?
Yes, Nadia. Nadia's
Charity.
amazing.
Oh, Nadia.
So another-
Shout out Nadia.
Another Malaysian there. So we got really talented people all around. So Berlin next, and then Dubai next as well. The other part of my job. So I feel like I've got few different jobs
Yeah,
within
yeah.
one job, because my title is also too, like I got global, I got EMEA. EMEA is the work winning new businesses,
Yeah.
doing big campaigns out in Europe. But the global is also spreading, I would say, the religion of VaynerMedia out to different places and looking for the right talent that would come in and build that office as well. I find that that's like my new challenge. I've done the work, I've done the fun stuff.
Different role now.
Different kind of challenge
now.
now.
You're taking the brand, you're taking the religion.
Exporting the religion.
Yeah, because our main thing about Gary is like, it's not about to beat other agencies or whatever. We're not like that. But it's about marketing has changed and the audience has changed. We want to change how agencies work or think. And I believe in that as well. Like things need to change.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about proving anyone anything
Yeah.
wrong. It's
Nothing
just
at
like
all.
we're just all doing good work, right?
Yeah,
Trying to make something that actually makes a difference, makes a change.
And also, like we were speaking earlier, there's a lot of influencers, a lot of different people who are beating
The sys-
agencies.
yeah,
They
the
know
system,
platforms,
like
the
that.
system. They know even marketers and all that, because they are better than a lot of us. But because they are evolving, changing, they're understanding platform and how to sell, how to push bottles and products, like a lot better than a lot of marketers
Yeah.
and agencies. So we need to keep on our toes to change and evolve as well.
Yeah.
What I get from this talk from VJ, you gotta humble yourself to actually put aside your old way of thinking and old way of doing things.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
not
you have
say-
to
okay.
relearn every year.
I wouldn't say put away. I would say because it is part of an experience in the past, right? It's accepting it and knowing that that's not the
The
gospel
current
truth.
way. The current way. It's
Yeah.
not the current way also. It's not the gospel truth. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
It evolves.
It evolves, yeah.
I mean, you said one thing there which I like, being humble. Like you can you can win all the awards in the world. I mean, you can be the most talented person if you're not humble and if you've got a massive ego. Like people start hating you and people start like not believing in you. It's very important to stay grounded, to stay humble. There's always someone better than you. There's always someone doing something
Yeah.
crazier than you. Learn from them. Don't worry about, like, I want to kill this person or I want to destroy this person. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just be humble, learn from everybody else. There's a lot of young creators that I
Don't
work
be
with.
bitter, be better.
Yeah, be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying that, right? Because it's my 2024
Yeah, it's
motto.
Jared's 2024 resolution, I guess. Don't be,
Be
bitter.
Be butter.
Be better.
Be better. Okay, so I mean, as a fan of the podcast, as our only fan of the podcast. Usually, I always ask this one question, right? The dinner question,
Yeah.
right? I feel like I don't want to ask you this question because I want to say that I wish someone asked me this question because now my answer for who I want to have dinner with is you.
And let's go after this.
If you could have dinner with anyone dead, who would it be?
R. Kelly.
But he's not dead.
But his career is.
All right.
But just, man, sometimes you can be. I just want to say this example, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking creep, lah.
Yeah.
Right? And you can be the most talented person. But if you're an asshole, a creep,
Yeah.
you're doing bad shit, the talent, it outweighs the talent, right? So
Yeah.
for me, my advice is always that you can be the most talented person, you can be the smartest in the room or whatever, but if you are an asshole, you got an ego, you're not humble, don't treat people right, don't treat people well.
Yeah.
You can have all the talent in the world, but you're not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna end up in jail like him, lah.
Yeah.
Man.
And I think that's the perfect and beautiful advice. Beautiful observation.
But in all seriousness, if it's a person, Freddie Mercury, someone that I watch in awe of how he riles a crowd up. Amazing entertainer.
Stage presence.
Stage presence. A lot of us can learn. Before you go for a pitch, I would watch either two people, either Freddie Mercury or Eric Cantona. Those are people.
Eric Cantona.
Yeah, I'm not a
Interesting.
United fan.
Yeah, but interesting.
But
Why
those
why
two,
Eric
no,
Cantona?
just how you entertain a crowd, man.
Okay.
Like that too knows how to rile a crowd. And pitch theater, things like that. I love things like that.
Very interesting. Since you mentioned the pet peeve, you got any more pet peeve or not? My favorite question now.
I spoke about objectiveness. I think that's one. I spoke about ego.
Yeah.
One thing I really don't like is people saying no. It ties back a little bit with subjectiveness as well. I just hate the word no. I think anything is possible. This is from young as well. Like, man, I think we are doing crazy stuff. We just need to try.
Yeah.
There is no no's. There's always, and that's why I love Indonesian culture as well. Bisa pa. Anything can be done.
yeah.
Anything is possible. I think we say Malaysia boleh, but Indonesia really
They
boleh lah.
live it.
They,
They live it,
they
yeah.
really make, like, you want to put flowers on billboard? We can do that. It's crazy. Just anything is possible.
With that, I think it's been a very interesting session.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for imparting a lot of your knowledge and a lot of your beliefs in this.
Man, I learned so much. And VJ, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We all just started out and it means so much to me at least. To me and I'm sure to all of us. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on board.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Don't skip the ad.
And that's VJ Anand. A round of applause for VJ. Unless you're driving, then don't. Okay, keep your hands on the 10 and 2. Personally, Jared, like, I feel like I've learned so much, and it's like a role model that I want to have for me.
Yeah.
Right?
What about me?
Well,
Well, I'm not your role model.
let's retake. Okay, I mean another
Thank
role
you.
model.
Thank you, Janan. Thank you. Can't wait to see what VJ does next. We're
That's true.
always rooting for you, VJ.
Yes, Godspeed, VJ. Wherever galaxy your career takes you to.
Such a great person to end our season with.
Yeah, you almost said episode, but Jared, can you believe it? We have ended a season. When we started, we were saying like, let's just try one episode, see how. And then now we have wrapped our first season.
Wow. It's a milestone for us, man.
Yeah,
Really.
it is. And we couldn't have done this without the support of all of you out there. And we want you to know, listeners, that we take all your comments seriously.
We do not skip any comments as well.
Oh yes, we don't skip any comments. And there have been a few comments pointed out that don't skip the ad. Why are there no female on
Yeah.
the podcast? Where's the women, right?
Yeah.
And that is something we realize that, oh, it is true. And it's something we want to work towards. We can't wait to start working on season 2.
But season 2 is going to start a little bit later because I don't think I can do season 2 alone because our friend here is not in town.
Yes, I have to take responsibility for this. I actually am going to the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. I'm touring again this year.
He's basically going back to his real job lah.
Don't say that. I'm going back to my other job, my night job. But yeah, if you have friends in Melbourne, please send them my way. My show is called Noted with Thanks at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, April 8th to the 21st. Buy tickets at kuajenhan.com or comedyfestival.com.au.
So till then,
Till then, Jared,
this has been an amazing season 1.
thank you so much for making season 1 so fantastic. This has been
Don't skip the ad.